English listening practice. Treasure Island story. Slow English plus shadowing training. Treasure Island, a simple and inspiring story for English learners. Hello, my friend. Welcome to this special English lesson. Today, we start a slow and simple story called Treasure Island. This is not the original book. This is an easy version made just for English learners like you. In this story, I will use easy words, short sentences, and clear ideas. You can listen slowly, relax, and enjoy every moment. You can even use this story for shadowing, for listening practice, and for building confidence. Before the story begins, I want to tell you something important. You can learn English. You can improve step by step. You can understand stories in English. You can speak more clearly and confidently. Every small step you take brings you closer to fluency. And this story will help you grow. Now, let's begin our adventure. Waves. A quiet inn by the sea. Long ago, in a small and quiet village, there was an old inn. An inn is like a small hotel. This inn was called the Admiral Benbow. It stood on a hill by the sea. You could hear the sound of waves every day. You could feel the fresh wind from the ocean. Inside the inn lived a young boy named Jim Hawkins. Jim lived there with his mother and father. Their life was simple, calm, and peaceful. They cleaned the rooms, cooked food, and welcomed travelers. Not many people came to the inn. Some days they had only one guest. Some days they had no guests at all. But Jim did not mind. He liked the quiet life. He liked hearing the waves in the evening. He liked helping his parents. But one day, everything changed. The mysterious old sailor. One cold morning, a man walked to the inn. He was tall, strong, and looked very rough. His hair was messy, his clothes were old, and on his face there was a deep, long scar. He did not smile, he did not talk much, and he walked with slow, heavy steps. When he came inside, the inn became very quiet. The man put a big wooden chest on the floor. Then he looked at Jim. "My name is Billy Bones," he said with a heavy voice. "I want a room, I want food, and I want to stay here for a long time." Jim felt nervous, but he nodded. Something about this man felt dangerous. Billy Bones stayed at the inn. He drank a lot of rum. He sang old pirate songs. His voice was rough and loud. Every morning, he walked up a hill near the sea. He held a telescope. He looked out at the ocean for a long time. It was like he was watching for someone, or hiding from someone. Jim did not understand, but he could feel that Billy was afraid of something. The secret Billy told Jim. One night, Billy called Jim to his table. "Boy," he said slowly, "there is a sailor with one leg." Billy's eyes looked scared. "If you ever see that man, you must tell me, right away." Billy gave Jim a silver coin. He said he would give one every month. Jim did not understand why, but he agreed. From that moment, Jim watched the road every day. He looked for a sailor with one leg. He did not know what would happen if he saw him, but the thought made him feel cold.
A visit from the blind man. One afternoon, something strange happened. A man came to the inn. He was old. He had no eyes. He was completely blind. His face was thin and angry. His clothes were dark, and he walked with a long stick. "Take me inside," the blind man said. His voice was sharp like a knife. Jim felt afraid, but he helped him. The blind man held Jim's arm very tight. His hand felt as cold as ice. "I want Billy Bones," he whispered. "Take me to him." When Billy saw the blind man, his face went pale. He looked more scared than ever before. The blind man gave him a small round piece of paper. This was the black spot. It was a pirate sign of danger and death. After the blind man left, Billy started shaking. His hands trembled. His face was white. He tried to stand up, but he fell. Billy Bones collapsed on the floor. His heart had given out. He died right there in the inn. Jim stood still. He had never seen anything like this before. He was scared, confused, and shocked. But soon Jim understood. Billy Bones had been running from pirates, and now they were coming. The mysterious chest. Jim and his mother needed the money Billy owed them for staying at the inn. So they opened Billy's chest. Inside, they found strange coins from many countries: gold coins, silver coins, old coins. But they also found something even more important: a map, a treasure map. It showed a big island far away. It showed hills, rivers, forests, and a red X marking the treasure of Captain Flint, a famous pirate. Jim could not believe it. A real treasure map, a real pirate mystery. But he also felt scared. If the pirates were looking for this map, they might come to the inn. They might come soon. Jim knew he had to leave. He had to find someone he could trust. So Jim ran to see Dr. Livesley, a kind doctor. Then he went to Squire Trelawney, a rich and brave landowner. When they saw the map, their eyes grew wide. "This is real," the doctor said. "This is a true treasure map." And Squire Trelawney said, "We must find this treasure. We must prepare a ship. And Jim, you will come with us." Jim felt afraid, but also excited. This was the start of a great adventure, a journey across the sea, a search for treasure, a test of courage. And this was only the beginning. A message for you, English learner. Before we end part 1, I want to remind you, you are doing something amazing. You are learning English in a natural way, by reading a story, by listening slowly, by enjoying each moment. You may not feel fast, you may not feel perfect, but you are improving. Every sentence you understand is a win. Every new word you learn is progress. Every time you listen, your brain gets stronger. Learning a language is like a long voyage across the sea. You start slowly. You move forward step by step. Some days are hard. Some days feel easy. But if you keep going, you will reach your treasure. You will reach English fluency. Believe in yourself. You can do this. You are already doing it.
Part 2. Treasure Island, a simple and inspiring story for English learners. Welcome back, my friend. I am happy you are here again. You are doing something great for your English. You are listening, reading, and learning step by step. This is how real progress happens. This is how you grow. Now, let's continue our story. In Part 1, Jim found a treasure map from the pirate Billy Bones. The pirates were coming, so Jim ran to Dr. Livesey and Squire Trelawney. They decided to find a ship, make a crew, and travel to the treasure island. Today, in Part 2, we start the big sea journey. We meet new characters, and we discover a dark and dangerous secret. Are you ready? Let's begin. Preparing for the great voyage. The next days were full of excitement. Squire Trelawney was very happy and full of energy. He loved big adventures. He loved danger and action. So he worked fast. He wrote letters. He made plans. He found money to buy supplies. He said, "We will go across the sea. We will find the treasure, and we will bring it home." Dr. Livesey was careful and calm. He did not talk too much. He wanted to make sure everything was safe and organized. And Jim Hawkins? Jim felt many things at the same time. He felt excited. He felt worried. He felt brave. But he also felt young and small. Still, he knew he must go. This adventure had already chosen him. Anchor, the ship called Hispaniola. After a few weeks, Squire Trelawney found a ship. The ship was strong, large, and beautiful. Its name was Hispaniola. Jim had never been on a big ship before. When he saw it for the first time, his eyes were full of wonder. It had tall masts. It had white sails. It had long ropes and heavy anchors. For Jim, everything looked new and exciting. Squire Trelawney also found a captain, Captain Smollett, a serious man, very strict, very honest, follows every rule, not easy to make happy. At first, Captain Smollett was not comfortable. He said the ship was good, but the crew did not feel safe. He did not trust some of the men Squire had hired. But he agreed to take the job. He would guide the ship. He would keep everyone safe. He would bring them to Treasure Island. Jim felt safe with Captain Smollett. The captain was hard, but he was fair. Meeting Long John Silver. One morning, Jim walked into a small inn near the harbor. There, he met a man with only one leg. This is the same one-legged man that Billy Bones feared. But Jim did not know this yet. The man smiled warmly. "Hello, my boy," he said. "My name is Long John Silver." Silver had only one leg, but he moved very fast. He used a wooden crutch, and on his shoulder sat a green parrot. The parrot always shouted, "Pieces of 8! Pieces of 8!" This made Jim laugh. Silver looked friendly. He told jokes. He told funny sea stories. He cooked delicious food. Everyone liked him right away. He was hired as the ship's cook. Jim thought, "This man is kind. He is smart. Everyone trusts him. He must be a good person." But Jim did not know the truth yet. He did not know the danger.
A journey across the sea. The day came when the Hispaniola left the harbor. Jim's heart was full of excitement. He was part of the crew now. He was the cabin boy. He helped clean the deck, carry food, and bring messages. The sea was wide and beautiful. Sometimes the days were sunny and bright. Sometimes the nights were calm and peaceful. Jim often stood at the side of the ship, looking at the water. He felt free. He felt alive. But something strange was happening on the ship. Some men whispered at night. Some men looked nervous when the captain walked by. Some men talked quietly when Jim came close. But Jim was young. He did not understand these signs yet. Captain Smollett, however, watched everything carefully. He felt something was wrong, but he did not know what. One hot afternoon, the crew wanted apples from a big wooden barrel. Jim climbed into the barrel to get some. But after getting an apple, he felt tired. The barrel was cool and dark, so Jim sat quietly inside. Suddenly, he heard voices outside the barrel. He froze. He held his breath. He heard Long John Silver speaking. Silver's voice was low and serious, not friendly, not funny, not kind. It was the voice of a pirate. Jim listened closely. Silver said, "We must wait until the treasure is found. Then we will take the ship. The captain and the honest men will not stop us, and the treasure will be ours." Jim's heart started beating very fast. Silver continued, "Most of the crew is with me. We are pirates. We will fight, and we will win." Jim felt cold inside the barrel. He could not move. He could not speak. He finally understood. Long John Silver is a pirate. Many of the crew are pirates. They plan to steal the treasure, and they plan to take the ship. Jim stayed in the barrel and listened to everything. He learned names. He learned plans. He learned who was dangerous. When the voices went away, Jim climbed out and ran to Captain Smollett. Jim said, "Captain, I heard everything. Silver is a pirate. Many of the crew are pirates. They want to take the ship." The captain looked serious. Dr. Livesey looked worried. Squire Trelawney looked shocked. But Captain Smollett said, "Thank you, Jim. You have saved us. Now we must prepare." Before we continue to part 3, I want to tell you something important. You are like Jim. You may feel young on your English journey. You may feel small sometimes. You may feel unsure. But you are brave. You are learning something new. You are challenging yourself. You are becoming stronger every day. Every time you read a sentence, Every time you listen to a story, every time you repeat a phrase, you grow. And like Jim, you will face challenges. Some days will feel hard. Some days feel slow. Some days feel confusing. But remember, you are moving forward. Your English is getting better. You are doing something great. You can become fluent if you keep going.
Treasure Island is not just a story. It is a symbol of your English journey, a symbol of courage, growth, and discovery. Part 3. Treasure Island, a simple and inspiring story for English learners. Welcome back, my friend. I'm happy you are here again. You are reading, listening, and learning step by step. This is how you build real English skills. This is how you grow stronger, just like Jim Hawkins. In Part 2, Jim discovered a dangerous secret. Long John Silver and many crew members were pirates. They planned to take the ship and steal the treasure. Now, in Part 3, the adventure becomes even more exciting. There will be danger. There will be courage. And Jim will make a big decision. Let's begin. Preparing for the pirate attack. After Jim told the truth to Captain Smollett, Dr. Livesey, and Squire Trelawney, they gathered in a quiet room on the ship. They spoke softly. They made plans. They knew they were outnumbered. There were more pirates than honest men. But Captain Smollett said, "We must stay calm. We must work together. We must wait for the right moment." Jim watched the captain, the doctor, and the squire. They looked serious, but they were not afraid. Jim felt safe with them. Captain Smollett decided, "We will not fight now. We will wait until we reach the island. There, we can protect ourselves better." Jim nodded. He understood. The ship continued across the sea. The sky changed from blue to gold. The nights became colder. The pirates pretended to work normally, but secretly they watched the honest crew like hungry wolves. Jim felt a small fear every day, but he also felt courage growing inside him. Treasure Island appeared. One early morning, the lookout man shouted, "Land ho!" Jim ran to the deck. There, in the distance, he saw a dark, wild island. It was Treasure Island. The island had tall trees, sharp rocks, and thick forests. It looked mysterious. It looked dangerous. It looked like a place full of secrets. Long John Silver stood near Jim. He had a friendly smile on his face, but his eyes were cold, watching the island like a hungry animal. He whispered, "We are close, my boy. Very close." Jim felt a chill. His voice was soft, but it carried danger. A meeting on the ship. The captain called everyone to the deck. He said, "We will stop near the island today, but we will not go to shore yet. I want everything to be safe first." The pirates did not like this plan. Their eyes darkened. They wanted to find the treasure right away. They wanted to start their attack. Silver stepped forward. "Captain, the men want to stretch their legs. Let some of us go on shore. Only for a short time." The captain looked at Silver. He saw danger. He saw lies.
But Captain Smollett knew something important. If he said no, the pirates might start the fight immediately. If he said yes, he could delay the fight. So he agreed, carefully. Very well. The men may go on shore, but only some of them. Silver smiled. It was not a warm smile. It was a hungry smile. Jim watched all of this. He felt the tension in the air. A storm was coming.
Jim's big decision. The men prepared small boats to go ashore. Jim felt nervous. He wanted to stay with the captain on the safe part of the ship. But something inside him said, "Jim, go to the island. This is important. You must see what happens." He did not know why he felt this, but he trusted his feeling. So when the boats were leaving, Jim jumped into one of them. He sat near Long John Silver. The pirate smiled at him. Jim's heart beat fast. Had he made a mistake? Was this dangerous? Yes, very dangerous. But it was also brave. And brave actions often lead to great discoveries. Deep inside the island, the boats touched the sand. Jim quickly stepped out and ran. He ran away from Silver. He ran away from the pirates. He ran into the forest. He did not know how to plan. He only knew he must stay away from danger. The forest was thick and dark. Birds cried loudly. The air smelled like leaves and ocean. Jim stopped running and took a deep breath. Then something moved behind the trees. Jim froze. Was it a pirate? No. A man walked out, slowly. He was dirty. His clothes were old and broken. His face had a long beard. He looked like he had lived on the island for many years. The man raised his hands and said, "Please don't hurt me." Jim stared at him with surprise. He said, "My name is Ben Gunn." Jim did not know this name, but soon Ben Gunn would change everything. Who is Ben Gunn? Ben Gunn sat on a rock and told his story. He said, 3 years ago, I was here with pirates. We searched for treasure, but we could not find it. The captain was angry. They left me behind, alone on this island. 3 years alone. 3 years with no people. 3 years with no home. Jim felt sorry for him. Ben Gunn said, "I am not a bad man. I am not like the pirates. I want to go home." Jim nodded. He trusted Ben. Something about this man felt honest and sad. Ben Gunn leaned close and whispered, "And I know something about the treasure." Jim's eyes grew wide. Ben Gunn smiled, a small, mysterious smile. But before he could say more, a loud sound came from the beach. Boom! It was a gunshot. Then another. Boom! Jim jumped up. Ben Gunn's eyes opened wide in fear. Jim said, "The fight has started. The battle begins." Jim and Ben Gunn moved through the trees until they reached a high hill. From there, Jim looked down toward the beach. He saw smoke. He heard shouting. He heard shots. The pirates were attacking the honest men. The captain's group had moved to a small wooden fort on the island. It was an old sand fort from many years ago, but now it was their only safe place. Jim felt scared for his friends. He wanted to help. He wanted to run to them, but the way was full of pirates. It was too dangerous. Ben Gunn placed a hand on Jim's shoulder. "Stay with me," he said. "You are safe here." Jim looked at Ben. He trusted him. But Jim also knew something important. This was only the beginning. The real fight, the big fight, was still ahead.
A message for you, English learner. Before we go to part 4, I want to tell you something important. Jim is young. Jim is afraid. Jim makes mistakes. But Jim also keeps moving forward. And so do you. Learning English is not always easy. Sometimes you feel scared. Sometimes you feel lost. Sometimes you feel slow. But you keep going. You keep trying. You keep learning. This is courage. This is strength. Remember, every sentence you read makes you better. Every minute of listening helps your ears grow stronger. Every time you shadow a line, you speak more clearly. Every step brings you closer to fluency. You are doing something great. Be proud of yourself. Keep going. Your English treasure is waiting for you, just like the treasure on Treasure Island. Okay, part 4. Treasure Island, a simple and inspiring story for English learners. Welcome back, my friend. You have made it all the way to the final part. This is amazing. You should feel proud of yourself. You are reading in English. You are understanding a long story. You are improving your listening skills. You are becoming stronger and more confident. Now let's finish the adventure with Jim Hawkins. In part 3, Jim met Ben Gunn and saw the pirates attack. Now the real danger begins, and the treasure will finally be found. Are you ready? Let's continue. The castle on the island. Inside the island, Captain Smollett, Dr. Livesey, Squire Trelawney, and the honest men reached an old wooden fort. It had tall walls. It had a gate. It had small windows for shooting. The pirates stayed near the beach. They were angry. They were hungry for treasure. They were ready to fight. Jim wanted to help the captain, so he decided to leave Ben Gunn for a short time and go to the fort. He ran through the forest. He climbed over roots and rocks. He pushed through the leaves. Finally, he reached the fort. When the captain saw Jim, he said, "Jim, we were worried about you." Jim smiled and felt warm inside. He was home. He was safe. For now. The pirates attacked the fort. At sunset, the air became quiet. The forest became dark. The sky turned orange and purple. Then suddenly, bang! A gunshot. Bang! Bang! More shots. The pirates were attacking the fort. Jim's heart beat fast. He stood next to the captain. The captain told him, "Stay low, stay calm, do exactly what I say." The pirates ran toward the fort, shouting and screaming. They climbed the walls. They pushed the gate. They fired their guns. The honest men defended the fort bravely. Jim saw shadows moving in the smoke. He heard angry voices. He saw flashes of fire from guns. It was chaos. It was loud. It was dangerous. But after a long fight, the pirates ran away. The fort was safe. But everyone was tired, and the captain was hurt in the leg. Jim worried about him. But the captain smiled a little and said, "I will be fine, Jim. Do not worry."
Jim makes a brave and dangerous plan. That night, Jim could not sleep. He thought about the Hispaniola, the ship. The pirates still controlled it. If the pirates used the ship, they could make a surprise attack. They could stop the honest men from escaping. They could win. Jim said to himself, "I must do something. I must help. I am only a boy, but I can still try." So Jim made a brave decision. He would sneak out of the fort. He would go to the beach, and he would try to reach the Hispaniola. It was crazy. It was dangerous, but it was also brave. Jim quietly climbed out of the fort. He walked through the dark forest again. He listened carefully for pirates. He moved slowly and quietly. Finally, he reached the beach, and he saw Ben Gunn again. Ben Gunn revealed the truth. Ben Gunn looked excited. He whispered, "Jim, I must tell you something very important." Jim listened carefully. Ben Gunn said, "I found the treasure. Yes, 3 years ago. I searched every day. I looked everywhere, and I found it. I hid it in a secret place." Jim's mouth opened in surprise. "The treasure? Already found? Before the pirates came? Before the captain came?" Ben nodded. "That is why I wanted to help you. I do not want the pirates to have it." Jim could not believe it. But there was no time to ask questions. He needed to reach the ship before dawn. He thanked Ben Gunn and continued toward the sea. Anchor, Jim reaches the Hispaniola. Jim found a small boat tied to a rock. He pushed it into the water. He rowed slowly and quietly toward the ship. The sea was dark. The waves were quiet. The ship looked huge and black against the night sky. When Jim reached the ship, something felt strange. He heard shouting and fighting inside. 2 pirates were arguing. They were fighting each other. Jim climbed onto the ship carefully. He hid behind boxes and barrels. After a short time, only 1 pirate was left standing. The other one was dead. Jim's heart pounded. But Jim acted fast. He took control of the ship's sails. He cut the ropes. He let the wind move the ship away from the island. The last pirate saw Jim and shouted, "You, the cabin boy!" He ran toward Jim with a knife. Jim was scared, but brave. The ship moved suddenly. The pirate lost his balance and fell into the sea. Jim was alone on the ship now. He had done it. He had saved the Hispaniola. Returning to the island, and a big surprise. Jim brought the ship to a safe place and then returned to the island. He ran to the fort to tell the captain everything. But when he reached the fort, it was empty. The gate was open. The fire was cold. The rooms were quiet. Jim felt a cold fear. Then a voice behind him said, "Hello, Jim, my boy." It was Long Silver. He smiled, but his smile was not friendly. Jim looked around. He saw many pirates. The honest men were gone.
Silver said, "It seems we changed places. Now we have the fort, and you are our guest." Jim was trapped.
Silver makes a deal. But something strange happened. Silver did not hurt Jim. He did not shout. He did not attack. Instead, he said, "Jim, my boy, I like you. You are brave. You are clever. You are honest." Jim said nothing. He watched Silver carefully. Silver continued, "Help me, and I will help you." Jim asked, "What do you want?" Silver whispered, "The treasure. Show me where it is." Jim could not answer. He did not know where Ben Gunn hid it. But he did not need to answer, because at that moment, Dr. Livesey walked into the fort. He was free. He was calm. He was not afraid of the pirates. The doctor looked at Silver and said, "Long John, you want the treasure? Then take the map. It is yours." Jim was shocked. Why did the doctor give them the map? Silver was shocked too. But the deal was made. The last search for treasure. The next morning, the pirates marched into the forest. Silver walked with them. Jim was forced to go too. They followed the treasure map. They walked up a hill. They crossed a river. They followed the forest path. The pirates were excited. They shouted. They laughed. They dreamed about gold and silver and jewels. But when they reached the X marked on the map, there was no treasure. Only a big, empty hole in the ground. One pirate screamed, "It's gone! Someone took it!" The pirates became wild with anger. They looked at Silver. They looked at Jim. They raised their guns. Silver stood in front of Jim. "You will not touch the boy," he said. The pirates attacked. But at that exact moment, Dr. Livesey's men fired from the trees. Bang! 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 The pirates ran. The honest men saved Jim and Silver. Ben Gunn led them to his secret cave. Inside the cave was the treasure! Gold coins, silver bars, jewels, and old Spanish chests. Jim stared at the treasure. It was real. It was shining. It was beautiful. Leaving the island. The honest men carried the treasure to the Hispaniola. They repaired the ship. They prepared to leave. What about Long John Silver? He stayed calm. He helped the captain. He followed the rules. So the captain decided not to punish him immediately. But one night, before they reached home, Silver escaped. He took a small bag of gold and disappeared. Jim never saw him again. A safe return and a new life. After many days, the ship returned home. The treasure was counted and shared. The captain, the doctor, and the squire received their part. Jim received some money too. It helped his family. It gave him a better life. But Jim always remembered the island, the trees, the beaches, the pirates, the danger, and the lessons. He said, "I will never forget Treasure Island." Final message for you, English learner. You made it to the end of this long story. You followed 4 full parts. You understood everything in English. This is a great achievement. You should feel proud. Remember, learning English is an adventure. Some days are easy, some days are hard, but every step brings you closer to fluency. You are brave like Jim. You are strong like the captain. You are wise like the doctor. And your treasure, your English fluency, is waiting for you if you keep going. Keep listening. Keep reading. Keep shadowing. Keep practicing. Your journey has just begun.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Self-Study Every Day for more helpful lessons. Leave a comment and tell me what you want to learn next.